Hi, friends. It's Sarah May Bates for Help Me Be Me. This is an episode I'm calling Emotional Reinforcement, and it's about building confidence and healing yourself or reinforcing your emotional boundaries. It's for people who are artistic or sensitive, who I would call more porous to the world. I think it can be intense to take in just feedback from your environment. It can be heavy, it can be just overstimulating, I guess. I think it's really important to cleanse or wash our energy periodically and just reaffirm the reality that is the most positive and helpful versus harmful to our psyche. So this is really for protecting your emotional body, reinforcing a protective shell. If you are experiencing feelings of insecurity, less than, shiny. I have a lot of tools in this episode and also reflections that will hopefully help you recalibrate your energy toward higher vibrations, energetic beauty, positivity. So basically, like zhuzhing up the inside through manual resets and practices. I've been talking to my friends a lot about this lately, but I don't know if you guys just went through a consciousness shift, if you felt a consciousness shift. I felt something in early February 2025, maybe mid-February. I don't know if you did, but if you did, if you feel like you have way more sensitivity to the world, like some part of your brain woke up, you are not alone. I have read that it is kind of a new layer of awareness. It can feel like a lot. For me, it feels like I have a lot more information and a lack of a barrier to it. And therefore, it can be a little bit overwhelming. So I have been trying to recalibrate myself more often lately. You might need that as well. So if you have been waking up with a lot of narratives in your head in the middle of the night, or you have way more vibrant emotions as of late, maybe that's why. So, as with actually in this episode, there are only two parts. There is a what and then a long how, the tools. Part one, the what I'm calling inner beauty, sanctuary, a clarity and a calm that kind of echoes a feeling of safety and a feeling of just being set. I think having the right words to describe how you want to feel is really important because it's just like conditioning your body. It's practicing ways of feeling first in your mind's eye, and then it kind of echoes into your environment and your perspective on the world. So it very much will create reality the more you kind of rehearse these feelings mentally. I recently worked with some pro climbers, some extreme outdoorsy folks who are very accomplished in all things endurance, and like they climb Everest and have done it many times, these kinds of people. And I heard them using the term beautiful to describe people, like very often. She was so beautiful, like they were describing a Sherpa, for example. And what slowly dawned on me as they were talking was that they were referring to how that person's soul, that person's being, that person's energy had nothing to do with their appearance. That might be obvious to you. As a person who has grown up in LA, I was like, so everyone you're talking about it is a supermodel, but they're so slowly I was like, oh, it has nothing to do with their exterior, has everything to do with their inner glow, like their being and how unharmed and non-conflicted that energy is. It's very pure, it's very bright, it's very benevolent. And I just started thinking about that idea a lot of what does it mean to be a beautiful person? And I think it really comes down to remembering that you have that goal in the first place, but also fostering trust in your gut, curating this inner harmony, and consistently doing that so you can identify outside of you that which does not align with that energy. Because we can easily like catch a cold that is what I would call like destructive energy. Those forces are outside of us, and we have to really condition ourselves and act in accordance with these values so we can protect ourselves and recognize it when it shows up. So if you are an artist, you will be very aware of how harmful negativity can be, or how harmful and destructive criticism can be. It's like two words can kill your drive, your entire career path. Like if somebody says the wrong thing at the wrong time in your life, it can shut you down and take you off of a track. Like it's like a murder of a different kind. So all of that is to say, positive and negative energy is very powerful, and it's really important that you stay aware of it, stay deliberate about it. Like, and now I want you to just think about validation and affirmation when you really needed it, and think about how that felt. It was like a warm blanket. It feels so soothing. It's like a salve for your soul. So knowing that's true, if you are in need of a mood booster, a great path to get to that is bring validation to the lives of others. And just know that, like, whatever you create in the world is exactly what's going to flood back to you. If you, if you are in need of love, just start to set up a cadence with your day, with your environment that becomes just assumed and consistent in terms of creating joy, creating love. And it will start to just as a cadence come back to you consistently. You'll notice it very, very quickly. So, all of that said, here are tools for reinstating feelings of validation, safety, positivity, self love. And if you are feeling socially left out, there are tools for restoring focus on your own greatness, some journaling tools. And then at the very end of the episode, I'm just going to throw out some books, some inspirational reading for expansion, I would say, if that sounds at all interesting to you. But before I do that, first, a brief word from our sponsors. Okay. Here we go. Part two, the how the tools. So the first tool could be polarizing. It's called rich kid energy or creative merit energy. I had the privilege of growing up at a private school where the culture was extremely supportive, productive, and all of the kids were very creative. Like the structure of the education was very much based around inspiring and coveting what makes you special as an individual. And it was less about conforming and becoming like everybody else. And that was consistent for however many years, like all through elementary school, middle school. That is that was the main theme. And one thing I noticed after growing up with those people and still being friends with all of those people is the what it fostered in the mentality of all of those individuals is a natural inclination to invest in the merits of our ideas and a lack of inhibition when it comes to following through on all of those ideas, like a lack of fear that emboldens you in creative ways. So instead of seeing, the possible end of an idea or the reason that something is not good, you only see potential and possibility. And it doesn't mean that any of these people have more talent than the rest of the world. They definitely have less fear response in their bodies due to being able to pursue their ideas based on just their own passion for them. And so the response of excitement and passion became the default validation signal for something having merit. And so the tool is basically like, what can we glean from that conditioning? What can we learn from that conditioning? If you are in a place where you're like, I don't know if something's good, I don't know if something's bad, the only measure that matters is your libido for that thing. Like the main signal for something being valid is your energy, your passion, your desire. And that, if you can apply it to a startup idea, a film concept, whatever it is, check on that desire, check on that feeling. Do you care? Are you excited? That is the truest measure of its merit. Do I feel driven to create it? And then, that will always be a default you can fall back on. I'm not saying like use this as a way to gamble on things, obviously, but it's way more of a way to just work without listening to the noise. It's like that stuff de-emphasize its importance. The doubt, the fear, the criticism, it's like it's so easy for that to just get louder than us tuning into like, am I excited about this? Okay, next tool. Cleansing trickster energy or blowing bugs out of your nose. Okay, this is a very weird tool, but it's for okay, so I just read a book called You Are Psychic by Shar Margolis. I recommend it. I'm going to put it in my show notes as one of the books I'm recommending. It's a super fun read. One thing that I took from the book, she talks a lot about trickster energy. She's a medium, by the way, and how trickster energy is kind of all around us and it can sometimes sneak into us, similar to how a bug might fly into your nose. The trickster energy kind of energetically fools us into negative narratives or a negative mode of operation or a some sort of constricted perspective. And so this tool, whether or not you believe in mediums, has nothing to do with this tool. The thing that I thought was really interesting about this is if you can externalize when you get into a negative mindset or you get into a negative POV about yourself or about something in your life, you can feel it. If you can externalize that concept as, oh, there's a trickster energy that just flew into my nose, the first thing you have to do is recognize it and cleanse it. Get it the fuck out of your body. So blow it out your nose and say a little mantra. Just externalize it and formalize it as it just infected my body. I got to get it out as soon as it occurs. For me, that was a really big light bulb because if you can see this as an object outside of you, you can treat it much more of a clean manner. It becomes not so much of a narrative that's in my brain about myself. It's a simpler and more practical process. Like, oh, I just got to cleanse. I got to get that fucking dark energy out of my body. So, this frame, I think, it helps do it. It helps you to get the energy out instantly. And it also helps you to like not attach to that train of thought. So the next time you have a thought like, I'm cranky today, or I have nothing going on in my life, trickster energy just flew up your nose. Tune into that fact. Mentally say aloud, I surround myself with or mentally say it in your head or aloud. I surround myself with bright light, positive energy, love and goodness. Anything negative, stay away from me. Turn to light if you like. That's some paraphrased version of what's in that book. Also, if that feels weird to you, make up a different one. I cleanse myself of the negative energy. I surround myself with bright white light. Whatever you want to say. But it works, dude. Whatever version of this you try, it definitely works. All right, next tool, triangulate to your fans. This is a set of journal prompts. If you have ever had a fan in your life, maybe that is your grandma, maybe it was a teacher, maybe it's an ex of all things, or maybe it's an actual literal fan of your work. Whoever comes to mind for you who like made you feel really fucking awesome and special, their perspective is the truest way for you to triangulate to your own energy. It's like the purest mirror to your best self. It's the best way to activate and remind yourself of your best self. It's like your ideal, coolest projection of you. So, this journal practice is the first prompt. List out your greatest fans. Like, who are these versions of you? Who can portray or see the best versions of you? Dead or alive, doesn't matter. Second prompt, what does your number one fan think of you? What would they write to you? What would they say to you about how you are living your life? Tell that story around whatever topic is most relevant to you right now. Part two to this tool is an imagination reflection. And this is just to like mentally experience this set of prompts. You know that saying, gosh, who was it? I heard this on an Oprah interview. They won't remember what you said, they will remember how you made them feel. It was a woman. I feel like it might have been a poet. Anyway, that truth, I wanted to highlight it in when you think about this fan, whoever it is. In a thought experiment, I want you to imagine like this little moment you haven't seen this person in a very long time, whoever that fan is, and you both walk into a room together. And I want you to see them, you greet them excitedly, and I want you to picture who is the person that that person sees. Like, what is that portrait of you? Reflect on that image in their mind's eye for a moment and just tune to it for yourself energetically. Like, what is your brand? What is your imprint? And it's in their eyes, like their truest, most balanced version of you who is bubbling and excited, who is happy, who is open, receptive, like comfortable. Like, what is the portrait of that person? You can think of this also in terms, if it helps at all, in terms of a relationship, a past relationship where you felt so seen, so proud, so comforted. Maybe it was like even a codependent relationship where you were like just felt so high by being with this other person. The real addiction in that situation is how that person made you feel about yourself. It was like they became an inner mirror of sorts. So it's really about you on you. But I want you to ask yourself, what was that image? Who was the person that I felt validated as? What did they render for you as the definition of who you are? Like whatever it was or whatever it is, that self is already in you. It's already true of you. And that ideal, that complete self, if you could just remember them, now try and energetically go to that place and really embody it, that boosted, energetic version of you, and just ask, like, how can I live as that person with that perspective today? How can I dress as that self? How can I adorn that self? What would be a thing that that self would practice? How can I channel that being as I move through my day right now? If that last part about the ex was triggering and gave you weird feelings, skip it. Don't do it. I know there are like, there's like baggages and chapters that go along with different past relationships. Anyway, all right, the next tool. This is such a touchy-feely episode. Okay, the next tool is affirmations. I feel like I had such a not good reaction to the idea of affirmations when I first learned of them, however many decades ago that was. So I've come full circle on them. And the reason being is knowing that the portal of change in your life, like goal setting is really just like portal opening because we are opening a channel of energy towards something that doesn't exist yet. We are creating the path toward that thing with our head movie, with our vision of wanting a thing. So, an affirmation is very similar in that we are imagining an experience of a feeling, which then creates and reinforces an energy channel toward that thing being true. So, it's really helpful to just practice. And by practice, I mean like acting, like you're a character in a play, imagining feeling a certain way based on very specific simple affirmations. So I want you to customize them per whatever's helpful to you, but a couple of them that might inspire. I am grateful. I am loved. I am full of love. I am powerful. I am clear. I am safe. I am protected. So these are all just very like small feelings that I basically want you to rehearse embodying and choose to feel them. Like, so as you think them, the goal is to, just like you're a character in a play, this character in this play feels very powerful and owns their power. Just practice feeling that. That's it. I would add to that list though, and just periodically go through rehearsing it in your body. All right. Next tool, fear versus love, a storytelling battle. Um, if you are a sensitive person, it is very likely that you have like lots and lots of overly reactive or overly elaborate responses to hurting other people's feelings or other people's feelings. And so our brain will often default to the loudest version of our insecurity, depending on our mood in a given day, or depending on our sensitivity in a given day, or our sleep in a given day. And those stories can be extremely elaborate and severe, and we could be totally convinced in their truth. Like your brain might be telling you, like, probably true. They probably hate me. They're probably mad at me. They're probably excluding whatever the thing is. So this is a tool for fear assuaging or getting rid of that craving for validation. So the practice is as soon as you have like a really elaborate narrative like that, I want you to tell the opposite and equally elaborate story to yourself, and then at the end of that story, really practice knowing in your body that that is equally possible and equally likely to be true. And then the last step is just to mentally say aloud or to yourself, I keep saying mentally say aloud, you will await that that truth be shown to you. I remain open to all outcomes and I welcome the truth to be shown to me. And then you just detach. You stay open to seeing what will be, but you welcome equally both outcomes. The thing that's really eye-opening about this practice is most of the time, I would say like all of the time, the truth that comes back to you is 100% the positive one. Like it's like you'll witness like, oh wow, my openness was valid, like 100% valid. I was totally like the thing that your brain told you was likely and that was negative was way more irrational than you realize in the aftermath of this tool. All right, next tool, really simple, with grace. If you are a person who is superstitious or fear forecasts quite a bit, if you are a person who has past trauma, then you likely have a very hard time hoping for things. You get really, really freaked out as soon as you have a positive expectation or as soon as you have a dream or a goal or some consistent level of positivity in your life. If that is true for you, one way to eradicate that immediate superstitious feeling of worry and threat, that's something uh, as soon as you set a goal or have a hope for the future, or as soon as, let's say, you're journaling about goals, if you have that immediate feeling like, oh, but then I don't want it to come about in my life and cause me pain or something in my life to be dismantled in order for that thing to happen, in your journal, on your vision board, wherever you set your goals, just add with grace. Write that. And it immediately dictates that that thing will come about in a way that is not harmful. So that's like the get it out of jail free card. Just add with grace. I hope for blank with grace. I want blank with grace, whatever it is. And know you're golden. That's it. That's the tool. All right. Next tool. I feel like my self 20 years ago would be like, what? All of these tools are things I hate. So, false evidence appearing real, the acronym for fear, I used to find that really annoying because it's like kind of difficult and it didn't ring true for me. But now it totally does, which is why it's a tool. If you are a person who has been awake at night with worry, or you're finding you're more occupied with rumination, or you have like some sort of possible, potential, hypothetical problem that you're imagining and being really worried about, just remember this acronym. Fear is false evidence appearing real. I've heard this acronym used in a lot of 12-step circles and a lot of other circles as well. It always felt like not necessarily helpful and a little bit complicated, but it's absolutely true. So if you, as soon as I find it's like a little crowbar to disengaging obsessive thinking about something that's fear-based. It is absolutely false. Like there's no founding to that thing. And we have to remember it's tricking us. Energetically, it's tricking us. So if you are in a fear forecasting narrative, it's not real. It is a desire to get a jump on controlling anxiety, and it's literally an impulse of sorts. Step back, stop. Okay, next tool. It's a boundary tool. You just stop them. So if you are in a situation where you are battling with what is, or you're in a mental negotiation about a relationship, a work situation, the answer is you just stop them. You just boundary it. That is the solve. It's that simple. So this is a frame by which to move through situations. This is based on the fact that if you are a parent and you have young children, if they're running into the street, you don't yell at them, you don't bargain with them, you just physically stop them. That is the only answer. That it just is what it is. The same exact thing goes for a relationship, a boss, a work situation, any situation that is causing you pain where somebody is not respecting a boundary, where somebody is not reacting to something that you need, if something is hurting you, if it's a date, whoever it is, a boss, you just stop them. And what does that look like in physical terms? If we apply this metaphor of a kid running into a street, you have to just cut off access to that person in a literal way from hurting you, from violating a boundary. It's not bad. It just is. It's the thing that has to happen. If no other means is going to create that outcome, you do not argue with it. You do not debate with it. You just cut it off. It has to happen immediately. It's that simple. That's that tool. All right. Next tool, uh, a confidence role model. I don't know if you've ever had that experience where you see whether it's a celebrity or an artist or a personality that's in the public eye, when you notice that they have a confidence that you cannot relate to. And you're like, how is that wall impenetrable? I do not understand. How are they not filled with doubt? Like there's that weird kind of like, huh, how do they have that magic? If you are experiencing a feeling of lack of fullness in any area of yourself, that is yours to spin at any time. It's yours to alter and heal at any time, in any moment, in any second. It's a perspective shift. So think of this role model, whoever they are, whoever you have noticed with this quality, and imagine their unchanged persona as they enter a new arena or as they put something of themselves out into the world. And now borrow that metaphorically and apply it to yourself energetically. And whoever it is, just study them, recall them, know that that is valid, possible, true, and normal and good for you to feel exactly the same way, for you to have the exact same rights by default of just who you are. By default, you are owed that feeling of reverence, self-reverence by default. That is allowed and everyone's right. It's almost like if you could delete that fear thing from your brain, it would just exist unfettered. And those are my tools. I hope they are helpful. I hope that they tune something good in you. If anyone has the means to make a donation, you can head to patreon.com or you can head to Yay with Me. Those are all appreciated. And if you don't have the means, if you have anyone that you think this episode could help, that helps me as well. Please share it. And in closing, I think a great way to grow is to deliberately push yourself to open up. And by that I mean to new ideas, to new ways of thinking, to what else is possible. And even if they freak you out, even if they feel really foreign and bizarre and you can't quite grasp them, it's it's so healthy to constantly expand your horizon as or question what's out there and what's possible. So based on that, I have a bunch of books that are very broadening and mostly in terms of consciousness. I'm going to put links in the show notes. I'll just list them out real quick, but I invite you to tune into higher. as a means to grow yourself. Okay, Many Lives for Many Masters. This book freaked the shit out of me. I remember when my friend gave it to me and I was like, no, I'm not gonna try believing into any of this stuff. This is crazy. She was like, but why? And I was like, I don't know. I will read it then. And now I'm like, oh yeah, this is all factual. It uh it is very amazing. That's one. Seed of the Soul, another one kind of overlaps, but also has some other pretty profound thinking in it. Whispers from George. Shout out to Laurie Burns, my friend who wrote it. She is an angel on earth. But the one thing that I think is really interesting in that book is she talks about when you start doing good for all people and being kind to all people and helping people that you have nothing to gain from, the universe thinks of you as an organ in its body in some ways and starts to utilize you to do more good and connect more good in amazing and powerful ways. I learned a lot from that book. It's a kind of about her life story. Next book, E Squared. I probably buy that book more for anybody than any other book. It's just such a great entryway into learning how energy works and learning how the universe works. And I find it to be so joyful. I just love Pam Grout, the author. And then You Are Psychic, which I already mentioned. That's the new book I just read that I loved. And then Inner Work, which is Dream 101. It's like I find working with dreams is really, really helpful in just moving through growth. And I love that book because it's kind of just sets the foundation for how you can do that work. Those are the books, and I hope you enjoy one of them. And regardless, don't freak out if it triggers you. I apologize. I try just to keep all of, any agenda out of the show. So, like, take it with a grain of salt. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You know what I mean. And with that, I send you my love, and don't forget to smile.